The Defense of Marriage Act signed into law by President Clinton and now before the U.S. Supreme Court as the justices weigh the issue of marriage equality. But was the stage already set during the debate over California's Prop 8, the law which bans same-sex marriage? A few of the justices hinting that it may be too early for them to take up the issue. Joining me now, CNN contributor and Democratic strategist Maria Cardona, along with CNN contributor and Republican strategist Ana Navarro. Welcome to you both.
Good morning, Carol.
Good morning. Carol. So expectations among gay rights advocates might be a little dampened this morning after some remarks yesterday by Justice Sonia Sotomayor, the liberal judge questioning whether the court was deciding this issue too soon and asking, why not let the country continue to experiment with same-sex marriage and figure out where it wants to go? What does that mean to you, Maria Cardona?
Well, I think, first of all, Carol, it would have been a lot easier to bet and win on who the next pope was going to be than try to figure out what the Supreme Court is going to do in terms of deciding this case. But I will say this. Justice Sotomayor is nothing if not methodical, and she often takes positions that are contrary even to her own to play devil's advocate and make sure that every single angle of this case is being debated. I would not read anything into what she's saying. Frankly, I wouldn't read anything into what a lot of them are saying. You know, a lot of folks were wrong when they tried to figure out what the Supreme Court was going to decide on the health care case.
Yes, but Sotomayor's comments, they sound pretty reasonable. I mean, you could argue that the country is still experimenting. You know, only blue states have made same-sex marriage legal. 38 states have banned same-sex marriage. 6 states allow civil unions. If you look at those numbers, the country is still experimenting. So why should the U.S. Supreme Court decide this now, Anna?
Yeah, sure, the country is still experimenting, and there are some states that have evolved and shifted on this a lot faster and further than some others. But also what we've seen in poll after poll is that this is not going back. There's no going back here. There's no praying away the gay. Like it or not, the gay is here to stay. We're not going to dissolve these gay families. Gay couples are not going to go back into the closet. The only people who continue living in the closet these days are the hardliners against gay marriage. And so look, if it's not now, it's going to be later. This is not about if it's ever going to be legal. It's about when it's going to be legal. And I would argue that regardless of what happens in the Supreme Court, it's already made great strides, and this process has been very helpful to the movement of gay marriage and equality because it's forced people to think about the issue, and you can see the exponential growth in approval numbers for gay marriage as people wrap their arms around the issue and really give it some serious analytical thought and realize that you're talking about 2 loving adults who are being treated in a way that's unequal to other American citizens who are heterosexual.
Okay, you know, many of the comments the justices made were so interesting. I want to play some more for our audience and then talk about it. Separately, the Chief Justice, John Roberts, and Justice Alito seem to question the impact of Prop 8 on the definition of marriage. Let's listen.
If you tell a child that somebody has to be their friend, I suppose you can force the child to say, this is my friend, but it changes the definition of what it means to be a friend. And that's, it seems to me, what the supporters of Proposition 8 are saying here. All you're interested in is the label, and you insist on changing the definition of the label.
Traditional marriage has been around for thousands of years. Same-sex marriage is very new. I think it was first adopted in the Netherlands in 2000. So there isn't a lot of data about its effect.
Brings up a couple of points many people believe are important points, like what are the effects of same-sex marriage, not only on traditional marriage, but on children? Maria?
Well, you know, with all due respect to Chief Justice Roberts, I think his argument is flawed because I think that argument would be valid if you're actually saying that you are forcing a heterosexual person to marry somebody who's gay. But just by letting gay couples marry, that doesn't affect my heterosexual marriage to my husband in any way whatsoever. And I will also say that, you know, Carol, the country is going in this direction. So maybe not all states are there yet, but majorities of Americans do agree that this is where the country is going and that people should not be treated differently just because they love somebody of the same sex. And I'd also argue that it took a Supreme Court to outlaw interracial marriage. It took the Supreme Court to desegregate our schools. It took a president signing an Emancipation Proclamation to outlaw slavery, and that took the country to a civil war. So it really doesn't matter whether the whole country is there yet. It's the right thing to do.
But some legal analysts, Anna, say it sure sounds that the U.S. justices, all of them, don't really want to make a decision on this issue just yet. They're kind of ready to punt. If they do punt, what does that mean for the gay rights movement?
I gotta confess to you, you completely lose me when you start using football metaphors, but let's say that they postpone, then, you know, you're just doing that. You're postponing. Because the issues are not going to go away. Here is the bottom line, folks. Let's be realistic. There are gay couples living in marriage-like situations all over this nation, whether legal or not. There are gay families raising children in loving environments all over this country, whether we agree with it or not. These issues are not going to go away. We cannot take a magic eraser and dissolve those families. So the issue will keep coming up again and again. Are we as a nation ready to tell those children that their family should have less recognition than a heterosexual family? This is a country where the courts have often focused on what is in the best interest of the children. And certainly, nobody can argue that it is in the best interest of the children of gay couples to be in families that are not legally recognized and that do not have the same legal rights as heterosexual parents. So let's just face the fact and the reality that we're not going back to the last century, that we are now moving forward, and that this will continue to happen, and the issues will continue arising and leading to legal challenges.
All right, we'll see what happens today. Anna Navarro, Maria Cardona, thanks so much.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.